Welcome to our first online class section on plane shapes. Trust we're keeping safe. Trust we're fine. So please, should you have questions, please kindly drop your question on the assignment part of the school portal. You can also drop it on the group chats. So as soon as I get your question, answers will be provided on or before our next online class section. So today we'll be looking at plane shapes, definition of plane shapes, examples of plane shapes, attributes or properties of plane shapes. So let's start with definition of plane shapes. What are plane shapes? Now the word plane means flat. The word plane means flat. So when you hear the word plane, don't have a jet-like structure in your head. Don't see it as an aeroplane. No, it's not. Plane here means a shape with a flat surface. That's why the definition I gave here is it's a closed two-dimensional or a flat figure. Now it's closed, it's not open. All plane shapes are closed, they are not open. They are also polygons. Now the smallest plane shape in terms of number of sides is a triangle. A triangle has 3 sides. Now next in line are quadrilaterals. Quadrilaterals are 4-sided shapes. So plane shapes are closed. They are closed. They are two-dimensional. Two-dimensional. What we mean by when we say two-dimensional, what we mean is that these shapes can be measured in 2 dimensions, probably in terms of length and breadth, base and height, length, width, base height, and so on and so forth. And they are flat, of course, they are flat. So these are shapes that can be drawn on a flat surface. So they are called plane shapes. Why are they called plane shapes? Now they are called plane shapes because they are figures or shapes that are flat and closed. I may ask you an example. Why are they called plane shapes? Simple. They are called plane shapes because they are figures or shapes that are flat and closed. A plane shape is not open. At least you need 3 lines, 3 sides to form a plane shape. 2 lines cannot give you a closed shape. So you need at least 3 to get a closed shape. So that's why plane shapes are flat and also closed. Now, different plane shapes have different attributes. That is, they come with different properties, different characteristics. Now, characteristics, attributes such as number of sides or corners. Now, sides refers to as the line that make up the shape. So those lines that you can see that make up the shape refers to as sides. For example, a triangle has 3 sides. At least you can see 3 lines. A square has 4 sides. At least you can see 4 lines. So those lines that make up the shape refers to as sides. Now, what are corners? Corners is the points, let me just put it in a layman way or a layman definition, is a point, that point where 2 lines meet. That point where they meet is referred to as corner. Another word for it is vertex. Vertex is the point where 2 lines meet or where 2 sides meet. Now the plural form of vertex is vertices. So different plane shapes have different attributes. For example, a triangle has 3 sides. A square has 4 sides. You can see that they are different in terms of number of sides. A pentagon is a 5-sided shape. It has 5 sides. It has 5 corners. Hexagon, 6-sided. Octagon, 8-sided. Heptagon, 7-sided. Decagon, 10-sided. So different plane shapes have different attributes. Attributes such as number of sides or corners. Now, to summarize everything I've said, what are plane shapes? Plane shapes are figures or shapes that are flat and closed. They are also shapes that are referred to as 2-dimensional shapes. So they are 2-dimensional shapes. They are not 3-dimensional shapes. They are 2-dimensional shapes. Now let's look at some examples of plane shapes. Now examples of plane shapes are, so we're going to take the very common ones. Example of plane shapes are triangles, circles, parallelogram, rhombus, squares, rectangles, kites, pentagons, heptagons, and other polygons. So if you look at the diagram on the right, you can see some examples of plane shapes. So let's take the first line. Two-dimensional shapes are, like I said earlier, they are plane or flat shapes having only two dimensions, like I said earlier. Dimensions of what? Length and breadth. Base and height. If you're looking at a triangle, have base times height. So these are shapes that have two dimensions. Three-dimensional shapes, we are coming to that are solid shapes, but we're looking at plane shapes. So they have two dimensions, length, breadth. So you can see other examples, triangles, squares, rhombus, rectangles, and other forms of polygons, like other polygons such as pentagons, hexagon, octagon, and so on and so forth. So let's quickly look at the attributes of some plane shapes. Let's start with a very common one. Let's look at the square. A square. And when I was in primary school, my teacher told me that a square has 4 equal sides and 4 equal angles. Rather. Now in a square, one unique property of a square is a square has 4 equal sides. All the sides are equal. Now the opposite sides are also equal and parallel to each other. I'm going to show you this on my white marker board. Let me just take some of the properties. Now each interior angle is 90 degrees each. Each of them is 90 each. The perimeter of a square is 4 times a side of the square, since all the sides are equal. So it has length all through. And let's look at it on our white marker board. Let me illustrate this on the white marker board. So let's take, for instance, that I have, okay, so this is square, for instance. So I'm going to do this. Now what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to show that all the sides are equal. So if this is length, this is also length, this is also length, this is also length. That's for a square. Now the interior angles, each interior angle is 90 degrees each. So each interior angle is 90. Now I'm going to show you what a vertex is using this diagram. Now do you see this point? This is a vertex. Vertex is the point where two lines meet. So it has 4 vertices. If you look around, so it has 4 sides. All the sides are equal. Now the interior angles are 90 each. So the sum of angles in this shape is 360. Now what is perimeter? Perimeter is the total distance around the shape. So perimeter P is equals to L plus L plus L plus L. And if you use knowledge of algebra, that will give us 4L. So that's why I said that it is 4 times side of a side of the shape. So and then what is area? So area is length times length. If you use the knowledge of algebra, that's length square. So these are some of the properties of a square. So let's quickly move to a rectangle. Now a rectangle is very similar to a square. In fact, a square is a special type of rectangle. All squares are rectangles, but not all rectangles are squares. All squares are rectangles, but not all rectangles are squares. So they are very similar. Now let's look at some of the properties of a rectangle. A rectangle is also another example of a plane shape. It's an example of a quadrilateral. A quadrilateral is any 4-sided shape is a quadrilateral. So let's look at some properties or attributes or characteristics of a rectangle. Now the opposite sides are equal. Very correct. Now all angles, just like we have in squares. Now all angles in a rectangle is 90 degrees each. All angles are 90 each. Now the perimeter of a rectangle is 2 into bracket L plus B. I'm going to explain that on my board. And the area of a rectangle is length times breadth, and of course it has 4 sides and 4 vertices. So let's go back to the board. Let me illustrate this on the board. Okay, so let's have a new board. Don't save. So let's have a new board. So on this we are looking at rectangles. So I'm going to draw a rectangle. So this is a typical rectangle. Now in a rectangle, now when you see this sign in maths, now what this means is that these sides they are equal. These sides are also equal. The one on the top and the one under this line, they are equal. The sides, they are also equal. Now if this is length, this is breadth or width, this is length, and this is breadth. So one of the properties of a rectangle is that opposite sides are equal. So you can see that the opposite sides, this and this, they are opposite each other. At least when you say opposite, sides facing each other. So this and this, they are facing each other. This and this are also facing each other. So the sides facing each other are opposite sides. So in a rectangle, opposite sides are equal. Also in a square, opposite sides are equal. That's why I said that a square is a special type of rectangle. All rectangles are not squares, but all squares are rectangles. Please take note of that. So let's look at perimeter. Perimeter. It has 4 sides and 4 vertices. This is a vertex. This is another vertex. This is another vertex. How many? That's 3 now. This is another vertex. So 4. Let's look at the perimeter. Remember that perimeter is the total distance around the shape. So that's L plus B plus L, then plus B. So let's collect like terms. Let's regroup. So if we regroup this, L plus B plus B. So what is L plus L? L plus L will give us 2L. Our knowledge of algebra, B plus B, 2B. So if you notice, L is 2 is common to both variables. So 2, put in brackets, 2 divided by 2L divided by 2, we're left with L, and then 2B divided by 2, we're left with B. So that's why the perimeter is 2 into brackets A plus B. You can still use the one on top, L plus B plus L plus B. You can just add everything up to get your answer. It's the same thing. And then the area is length times breadth. So just a recap of what I said earlier. It has 4 sides, 4 vertices. Opposite sides are equal. It has interior angle of 90 degrees each. 90 degrees each. So interior angle of 90 degrees each. And then the perimeter is 2 into bracket L plus B, and area is length times, but that is for a rectangle. So we are going to stop here. In our next video, we'll look at circles, definition of a circle, and then we'll also look at the properties of a circle and the various parts of a circle. So that will be in the second video, and in the third video we'll be looking at triangles generally, types of triangles, and some key facts or key things that we need to know when solving questions on triangles. So we're going to stop here for today. Thanks for listening. Please do stay safe. Take care. God bless you. Bye.